He comes on the show anyway all the time, no matter where he is in the world.
Yeah.
But he's played in, I reckon, 5 US Opens.
I'm going to go with 4. I'll be
4?
interested in... I don't know. We'll ask him. Let's ask
But he's a
him.
European Tour legend, and he's an Australian legend, and it's Marcus Fraser, and he joins us now. Fraser, thanks for being with us.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
Very, very well. How many was it?
Do you realise that you're one of SEN's most called guests, Marcus?
That's all right. That's fine. It must mean you blokes are doing something right. You're good fun to talk to, I reckon.
Actually, Fraser, I just found out my scores from 2000 at Pebble, 76, which I was pretty pleased with, 83. But I did equal Greg Norman. Wasn't bad.
There you go. That's all right. You beat him one year too, that I can remember, famously.
Phrase. We were trying to get through a show without that being mentioned.
Thank you for the segue. Let's go.
I'll never forget that one, I can assure you.
All right.
So how many was it, mate? How many US Opens have you dabbled in?
3. I was going through it the other day. It's only 3. So I thought I played 4, but it was only 3. It was Merion when Justin Rose won, Oakmont when Cabrera won, and Chambers Bay, the lovely Chambers Bay, a couple of years ago when Jordan Spieth won. So I thought it was 4. I went through it the other day and looked at all the courses, but only 3. So, but that's all right. It's US Opens are, I think they're fantastic. It's pretty much the ultimate test, really, of getting the golf course on the limit and seeing what you got.
Do you like what the USGA does, like by pushing it so far every year?
I don't mind it. Yeah, it's I still find it playable, even though everyone, carries on and whatever they do, and you get to the end of the week and level 1 over par, 2 over par still wins the tournament. So level par every day, just about. You got guys still shooting under par each day, so the course is playable in my eyes.
Would you like to see that more at a Merion sort of a setup where it's not a basher's paradise, or I saw you at Chambers Bay, and it's going to be the case this week, Fraser, where it's you need to be a gorilla on the tee to sort of be realistically in contention. Would you rather see it on the shorter, more traditional courses, or would you rather see that sort of setup applied to the beasts here?
I missed the cut at Merion, so I think Chambers Bay was, it was a bomber's paradise, but at the same time it was so firm and fast that you still had to, control the ball and work out exactly where you're pitching it. Where Merion was so soft that I think they had a lot of rain that week, and it was just all pretty much carry around the hole and whatnot. But I think it firmed up late in the week possibly. But it all probably comes down to the way the course plays, firmness, and how fast it plays. To be honest, as opposed to the length, if it's long and soft, guys like me just have absolutely no chance whatsoever. But if it's fiery like Chambers Bay was, and I think Oakmont, the year I played that, it was had a bit of bounce to it, and that golf course plays so fast that it's kind of fun. It's the ones that are just soft and buttery just don't do much for me week in, week out, and then especially big events like that.
Yeah, Fraser, I can remember a lot of events, but 3 stand out to me during my career, Fraser, and that is the first time I played a Vic Open on a hard sandbelt course, like a Woodlands. It was at Woodlands, actually, and the difficulty of the greens and the firmness. The first time I played an Australian Open, it went up another notch. I was like, wow. And then the first time I played a major, and I was just interested, because my first major was Carnoustie 6 over won it, and I was about 12 over made the cut. And did you find any of the major courses were just that much harder than anything else you'd ever played?
Absolutely, and you're exactly right what you say. You go into it, it's going to be firm and fast, even at the Vic Open and then Australian Open, like you said, a major.
Yep.
You go out there and you think it's going to be fast, and then you get surprised on Thursday morning or afternoon, whenever you go out there, and you get a pretty quick wake-up call as if to say, hang on, geez, this is, I was expecting firm and fast, but this is another level, and it just keeps escalating the more and more you go into bigger tournaments. Then you get to majors. I remember at Muirfield, and I think about 3 or 4 years ago, we were landing 8 irons 40 metres short of the green.
Wow.
And it was pretty stilled. It was like concrete. And that's what you find it really hard to adapt to. You play 3 or 4 practice rounds and you just feel like you're just pitching the ball shorter and shorter in front of the green and working out the spots that you can actually pitch it. And, I think that's what it's all about. Hoylake was the same when Tiger won there. The golf course is almost dead, but but at the same time, it's playable. It's the way it's supposed to. There's 4 majors for the year. It's supposed to be hard. You can't set it up and have these scores like they do in the PGA when I think Jason Day broke the record for 20 odd under par, and that's not a major to me. That's week in, week out. Have it firm and fast and get it on the limit. That's what I think it's all about. There's 4 weeks of the year, and they're the 4 weeks that matter. Do
you find, Fraser, that the US Open should it be that traditional? We were talking about this earlier. Should it be that traditional? 15 metres wide with that rough on either side, really require a great driver of the ball, and like you say, play for that par 1 over, 2 over victory?
Absolutely, I think so. It's I think the rough they've got this week, even though, the course looks like it's massively wide. I had a look at Rory's comments today, and he was he was bang on the mark. But the rough that they got there is just, there's no skill whatsoever trying to get that ball out of that rough, and that's where they lose the plot, I think. And get it to the limit where you've got to control the ball coming into the green. Be tempted to have a go at it, instead of just a chop out with the lob wedge or take an unplayable out of the rough. That's pretty silly, I think. But it looks like it's pretty generous off the tee this week. So I suppose that's why they've got such long rough. But I don't see the point when guys are going to be taking an unplayable a yard from the next cut of rough. I just don't see the point. But sometimes it's a bit of an ego trip that these guys get on, and they try and that's their only way of flexing their muscles in a way, and that's what they do. But I just think the golf course. There's other ways to have a golf course playable than just having long grass. I think it's there's a lot more imagination involved, and when you don't have that kind of thing, it just becomes very one-dimensional, and it's just quite boring, to be honest. When it's like that, you don't want to see guys trying to muscle it out when it's only going to go 15 yards to get it back in play. It's you may as well have red stakes down there and have it as a hazard.
Yeah, the grass is that long that you wouldn't be able to move it. You wouldn't be able to find it probably, even if you had a spotter there. As we saw from the Kevin Na video. But Fraser, one of the things that looks to be, and you've played a lot of links golf and would appreciate this more than anyone is, but when they make the fairways kind of blind and you've got this long grass and you're way back in the field, you're almost hitting from a small tee box amongst grass. Even if you have 50 metres, sometimes, Fraser, the lines and the feel for the shot can be very, very awkward, can't they?
Absolutely, and it looks like it's a bit of a big open field, doesn't it? Like
yeah.
So it has a kind of links feel or look to it, I suppose. And you've got to be, if you haven't got too many targets there in the distance to really line up, it's really hard to get your lines on those golf courses, I think. And even though there's not many trees around, that looks pretty linksy. You can be quite claustrophobic just because of the lines that the reduced lines that you get. And, it was interesting to see Rory's comments today, and I think he was exactly right. When you got 156 guys, the best players in the world, 60-yard wide fairway. If you can't hit that, maybe look at a flight and get out of there. It's exactly right. Guys like Rory must be rubbing his hands together, just sitting there going, well, there's probably half the field that think they're absolutely no chance this week. So he's down, he's just half the field before he hits off. So he's probably sitting there rubbing his hands together.
That's exactly what Jason Day said today. Fraser, more Rory McIlroy question for you. He says, depending on how you play some of the medium-length par fours, like you might lay back or you might bomb it over the sort of the top of the hill and run it down and have a wedge in where you can see what's going on. But he said there could be up to 14 blind shots. How as a touring pro, how do you deal with blind shots? Like, is it just a matter of all the research you can muster in the first couple of days of practice, or is it just find a tree and hope like hell, or what do you do?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I haven't really, obviously not playing, you sort of don't really get do too much homework on what the guys are facing this week, and it's blind shots I'm not a massive fan on it, but at the same time they are good if they've done them the right way. But I think it seems like there's going to be options out there, and the USGA a lot of the time mix up tees quite a bit. They'll throw a tee forward 60 or 70 yards and completely change the hole and change the angle of the hole. So there's a lot of work at the start of the week working out where all those lines are off those tees, because they'll turn a 190-yard par 3 into a 130-yard par 3 if they want to. I think that's what they did at Chambers Bay on a couple of holes, and it seems that kind of golf course again where they're going to throw up a few surprises.
Last one from me, Fraser. You've played Merion, Oakmont, Chambers Bay. What was your best finish? And did you play with any really outstanding players that just was an absolute highlight for a US Open for you?
I think Oakmont was probably the most enjoyable one. I think I was about 10 over through 27 holes and somehow managed to shoot par. I think the last 9 holes to make the cut on the number. So
nice.
That was probably the most enjoyable. I think I finished about mid-40s or something there. But I think the one that stands out probably at Chambers Bay, I played with Cam Smith in the practice round actually, and I hadn't really played. I'd played a little bit with him, but and then for him to go on and play well that week, I think that was pretty cool, because I sort of sensed then. I knew before that I saw him in Hong Kong, and I think played 9 holes with him, and then playing with him at Chambers Bay in the practice round, you just knew that he wants the big occasion, and I think and it's no surprise he went and won this year, because I was it's just about as impressed as I've been on a golf course when I played with him for practice round and major. I thought it was pretty good.
I've seen what some of those guys do up at Coral when you get home at Christmas time. That's a pretty big rap from you.
You just know that some kids just they impress you, and I think they've got a really good head on their shoulders, and they know exactly what they're doing, and they know where they want to get to, and they'll work out a way to do it. And he's one of those kids that'll. He'll be around for a long time, and it's no surprise that he's kind of won so early in his career on the US Tour.
Fraser, before we let you go, just an update on your own health. You were pretty vocal, which we always appreciate. You giving of your time and telling everyone a couple of weeks ago about your battles with tennis elbow, ironically not golf elbow, in both arms, and it was like getting to the point where you were considering your career and your options. So maybe you could. Obviously, you've gone across to Europe and had some really nice results, but we haven't heard from you since you came back. So where's it up to, and what's the future hold for Marcus Fraser?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised when I heard it was going to threaten my career, but it's at the moment it's sort of holding me back a little bit, and I'm just sort of getting masked with cortisone at the moment, so just to try and keep playing, and hopefully that settles it down. But it's a bit of the unknown, really. I think hopefully it continues to settle down. It feels like it has slightly improved, but after speaking to a few guys that have had it, it's just a time thing that hopefully it does calm down. And it's just, I suppose I'm almost 39 now, and I think this is my 15th year playing in Europe, and I think after the end of next year, I'm probably pretty unlikely that I'll play in Europe after that. I would have thought, just with with a young family and that kind of thing. I think it's the kids are getting to the age now where I want to be around more and more, and the body doesn't like me playing too many weeks in a row. So it's everything's sort of starting to add up to maybe slow down a little bit golf-wise and come back home and either do something different or just maybe just play a little bit up in Asia and bits and pieces. I'm really not too sure, but I think at the end of next year, I think I'll probably finish up in Europe and try and hopefully spend some more time at home.
Come back, Fraser, put the feet up for a few years, have a couple of quiet frothies.
I wish I could afford to put my feet up, that's for sure. But,
why? Come on,
anyway.
you've seriously. We wish you all the best with the health stuff, and you've been a superstar for Chasing Birdies and Marco on SEN in general, and we appreciate you joining us tonight again, mate.
No problem at all. Anytime.
Marcus Fraser there, absolute superstar.